Hey, my fallen ones, and welcome to another Shen Pe Uts Taa-Neter production. I am your hostess and storyteller, Shen Pe. And before I begin, as usual, I would like to make the following disclaimer. Um, my videos are not for the emotionally challenged and intellectually impoverished. You have the right to remain vacuous. Everything you do not know can and will be used against you, most likely for profit. I am a storyteller, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. And I have to use entertainment purposes because, when you're speaking to Black people, that's all they're looking for. They're looking for entertainment. And I'm not even going to get into that right now because I'm not Black. I can't stress that enough. But like I said, I'm not Black no more. I haven't been Black for a long time. I don't listen to your music. I don't watch you act like clowns and animals, on TV. I don't even watch your movies. I really I really don't like y'all. I don't think I can stress that enough. I regard you with an indifference closely bordering on aversion, okay? Boy, I tell you, but it is what it is. I'm really here to educate, but I have to say entertainment because, like I said, Black people, they just want to be entertained. They're not trying to evolve. They just want to be entertained. It's like they're not even trying. Like I said in my last video, if you go and look at the animal kingdom, you'll see that all the mammals in the animal kingdom are evolving except for humans, you know, and particularly the Black ones. And I said what I said. And this is I just wanted to come back because in my last video, I explained how I wasn't Black and how I didn't rear my sons to be Black and into this Black culture and this Black mentality and pumping and dumping. And it's just disgusting. Like, for real, boy, I tell you. I remember when they were like about 10 and 12 years old, I had asked them because I was seriously contemplating saving a little Black girl, like adopting her from uh her Blackistani household, basically. Yeah. I was seriously considering that, because it goes back to what Frederick Douglass said: it's better to build a child than to try to repair a grown man. And it reminds me of what my baby said when he came home from school one day in the 6th grade, and he was frustrated. He was like, Ma, I can't do anything. I can't teach. He basically used the word kids, and he know what kids mean, the spell. He was like, Ma, I can't teach these kids because they've already been corrupted by their parents. And if you would have seen the look on my baby face, he was just so frustrated by it. And I was like, I just felt bad because he was trying to do something good, but, like, they were already corrupted by their parents. And or these children today are already corrupted by their caregiver, parents, whoever it is, that's supposed to be responsible for them until they're an adult. And I remember they were about 10 and 12, and I was seriously, I didn't want to, go through that route. So I figured, well, if I couldn't give birth to any girls, if I couldn't call any girls' souls in, maybe I can just go and just try to save somebody. I can go get a little baby Black girl nobody wants, nobody cares about, and I can just give her all the love and everything, and you know, boy, I was seriously considering that. And that's where my heart was. So I was like, well, before I do that, I have to ask them, because they lived with me the longest. They were like 10 and 12 years old. And I asked, I called them in, called them in the living room where I was at. And because I was looking at if I would be able to adopt as a single parent, right? And apparently I can, right? And I had enough room at that point. I had a 3-bedroom apartment. So if I did bring in a baby girl, she would have had her own room, like me, right? So and the boys, they shared the room. They didn't even, I had 3 bedrooms, but they just shared the room. So I asked them, I was like, well, hey guys, how do y'all feel about having a baby sister? It's like, how would y'all feel? Would y'all be okay with that? And my oldest, he was 12 at the time. He just shook his head and he was like, not unless I can get a gun. And then my youngest was like, well, Mom, look like you'll just have to buy me that katana sword I've always wanted. Now you'll just have to get that for me. And that was their response. And I was surprised, but not surprised, it's naturally in them where they feel that they have to, protect women. And that response, it really just broke my heart, because I knew that it's like they were only 10 and 12 years old at the time. I was taking them. I didn't want them to feel that, that they needed to be taking care of anybody at that point. They were still young boys, and I wanted them to be boys, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm not even going to be able to do it. I bring a girl in, they're going to want to kill somebody. they're going to want to kill somebody over her, for real. And I was like, I can't even do it. I'm literally going to have to wait until, like, now they get grown and get out the house, and then maybe at that point, you know, I can go ahead and adopt a little girl, and just try to help somebody, because nobody cares about these black girls. I mean, nobody cares. Nobody. Not these G Floyds, not these sisterhoods of Satan. They hate black women. And it's like I was listening to one of my favorite YouTubers. I was listening to her podcast, and she was saying that the young lady Lauren Smith Fields, who we're waiting to find out what happened to her, that she wasn't divested, but apparently these males are rejoicing on her death. And I've also heard from another YouTuber that I just recently came across. Her YouTube handle is Divested Zealot. And I was listening to her, and I don't like watch a lot of people on. I'm not into this black YouTube thing. Is very few people I watch. I don't watch any gay people, no matter what color they are, and I can probably count on one hand the women YouTubers that I watch. And Miss Archduchess is one, and the other is Miss Archduchess. I've been watching her for like years, like a decade. And Divested Zealot, I just came across her very recently, maybe a few months ago. But it's like I was just so disgusted when she said that she wasn't going to name any names, which I could understand. But not only was these G Floyd indigents rejoicing on this young lady's death, Lauren Smith Fields, or Lauren Fields Smith, I'm sorry, I don't mean to mess up her name, the young lady who died from an accidental overdose, right? Um, she, uh, Divested Zealot was saying that, these fuck these. Oh, I'm trying not to curse these, but I'm just disgusted. But she was saying that these Sisterhood of Satan counterfeit spirits, that's in the body of a woman, were rejoicing on this girl's death too. And it's like I was saying in my last video, like, these counterfeit spirits, they're woman haters. They are the Satan, the Sisterhood of Satan. They are the feminists. They are the reason why the patriarch existed in the last sun cycle. Okay? Which was supposed to be the divine masculine, but it was corrupted. And it was corrupted by the Sisterhood of Satan. Okay? And when I say these things, you need to understand that, like I said before, it's all about energy. It's all about energy. Everything is symbolic of a certain type of energy that it brings. And Saturn is an energy, and so is Satan. That's an energy. That's what you have to understand. That's what you have to go by. You have to go by the energy. And I was just so disgusted when she was sitting here talking about these counterfeit spirits were over here, like, rejoicing on this young girl's death. And it's like I said before, you know it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. And I don't watch like them YouTubers, so I don't know who she was even talking about, even though she didn't want to drop any names. But whoever they are, they're disgusting. And if you're listening, I just want you to know that you're a disgrace and you're disgusting. Okay? I could say a whole lot of other things, but um I'm trying to be I'm not trying to be condescending. I don't want to be condescending, right? Okay? But you're just disgusting, and you're like a waste of space, really. So you're entertained by the death of a young Black girl. And see, this is why I don't want my sons dating these American Black women. I don't want them dating them. You know, I don't want them dating American white women either, but I don't want them dating American women. Okay. And this is why I don't want them particularly dating American Black women, because um a lot of them are raised on such a low self-esteem because nobody gives a fuck about them, and they feel that energy. It's not just about the actions, but they feel that energy. I'm dark skinned. I felt that same energy. The only difference between me and the next young lady is I was just built differently. I already knew when I came into consciousness, that this was not my regular place. you know, I'm not even really going to get into that, but I already knew. I already knew from consciousness that um I'm not like these people over here. I already knew. I already knew. And so their insecurities and their like, I'll use my own biological mother. Like, she's a counterfeit spirit. My mother don't like women. She hates women. And she loves the G Floyd. And she'll put the G Floyd indigent penis and phallus over her own children. And that's what she did. She decided to go with the G Floyd phallus. That's what she chose. She chose that over her children. And it's like I've learned from her what not to be like, you know. I don't even resent her for that. I'm just grateful that um I was resilient to the point where I saw at an early age that something here is just not right. And even though I'm probably the only one within millions of miles that can see that something is not right, I'm not going to let that lower my self-esteem or anything, you know, or anything about myself. Shoot, I always loved myself. I don't care. I still love myself. I've always loved myself, and you know, whoever didn't like it, you know, screw them. They not even worthy of being in my presence. Okay? Especially if you don't like the fact that I love myself, please, because I'm going to choose me every time. I'm going to choose me every time, you know? Well, except for when after I gave birth to children, I knew that when I gave birth that it wasn't going to be about me, you know, that I would have to make it about these children that I decided to bring into this world and to help them develop and evolve, you know? So it wasn't going to be about me. I understood that. I went into that knowing this, okay? I went into that knowing this. But boy, I tell you, this is why I don't want them dating, you know, any, you know, cuz they're just it's just so sad. And it's like Miss Archduchess said, this young lady Lauren, she wasn't divested, but these uh G Floyd indigents and these Sisterhood of Satan feminist patriarch counterfeit spirits are rejoicing over her death because they're under the impression with their bird brains that this white dude that she was murdered by this white dude. So they're under that impression. That's the story that they're going with. We don't know what had happened, you know. We don't know what had happened, but I'm telling you, the coroner, the medical examiner had ruled her death as an accidental overdose. So now the feds are involved. They're going to find out how those drugs got into her system and who gave her those drugs, where she or who, and not only who gave her the drugs, but whoever got those drugs, where they got it from. You get what I'm saying? So they're going to find out. And I'm just waiting on that to come out. But going by the police report, like the part that they don't mention about her her brother, who I hear is not even her brother, came to her house like 10 minutes to midnight, you know, to pick up some clothes. Like, boy, I tell you. And they don't mention that, and they also don't mention about her this young lady. This Matthew, that's this man's name. Matthew, he's 37. I believe she's like 22. She's just a baby. She's like my son's age. Oh my God. She's just a baby. She was like 22. Matthew called her. She was like, this is in the police report. She was like, bring a bottle of tequila and bring $40 so I could get my nails done. So with that, I'm already thinking about what kind of hookup this is, right? So he went to her place and he didn't have a phone number. The only way he was able to get in touch with her was through Instagram. So he made several attempts to get in touch with her on Instagram when he arrived at her apartment, but she didn't answer. And then when he was leaving, when he left, she called him back and was like, I was putting on my makeup. That's why I didn't answer the phone. Just come back. So I'm just wondering if that was like a hesitation on her part. And it could have been because she met this person on a dating app, and not only did she meet this person on the dating app, but she had this person come to her house or her apartment, and that's not good. I don't care what color they are. You're not supposed to do dates like that. Like invite somebody. You're not supposed to do that. Like, first of all, I know I'm old. I know I'm 53. And when I was 22 years old, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have social media. We literally had to go outside, and pick up our dates off the street or in the club or at the bar. You know what I'm saying? Or, depending on what you was looking for, or at the library, or in college, on a college campus, or when you're visiting another college campus. You know what I'm saying? It's depending on what you were looking for, right? And me, I think I said in my last video that I used to party like every day of the week, except I had that one day, and I had that one day that I didn't party, and I would date like five different guys at the same time, and each guy I dated was like for different, things to do that I enjoyed, doing with them, right? Didn't necessarily mean that I was having sex, right, with these guys. And I don't think that she was either, you know. But still, the tequila and the him bringing the $40, I don't know if it was for her nails, but that's what she said. But I don't think that she was trying to have sex with him for $40 and a bottle of tequila. It's I don't think that's how, like, what her intentions was. And I'm just speculating because I don't know. But maybe she needed the $40, or she was just testing him, to see if she can get anything out of him, right? And if he would come through with that, because I've done that myself. But what I didn't do was, I've never invited a guy to my apartment. And I had my own apartment. I got my first apartment when I was like 21 years old, right? I moved out on my own. And that's one thing I've never did. A dude, it's like these dudes, you know they they think different. Like, even in my youthful days, they're not going to a club to meet somebody, or to a bar to meet somebody, because they're looking for a lifetime partner. Okay, they're looking for somebody they could either sleep with right away, or eventually get some without having to try too hard. Like, real talk. And that's the same thing with the online dating websites. It's like they brought the bar and the club online. The only difference with that is that people online can pretend to be anything they wanted. Like, look, they can just remake themselves. They do a complete do-over behind the screen and the keyboard. They can reinvent themselves, literally. That's the only difference. You couldn't do that, when you go and meeting people, when you're out there socializing at social events and things like that. It's a little bit more difficult to hide yourself. But online, these people, they're just reinventing themselves. And I think, maybe in the digital age where she was born, she was probably looking to see if, he was just one of those people that was just reinventing himself, hence the $40 to get her nails done, right? So he arrived at her apartment at around 2100 hours, right? I think that's kind of late. That's about 9 o'clock at night. So he got there at 9 o'clock at night. She wasn't getting her nails done at no 9 o'clock at night, right? So I don't know what that's about, but you know, I'm just saying this to say that I just feel really bad, because um you shouldn't be dating these men online and having them come to your apartment. Like, that's a no-no. That's a big no-no. I wouldn't recommend dating people online or looking for anybody to date online, because especially now when we're in a hyper sexual uh environment, beast in the field type of thing, men are just looking for, they're online. They're not looking for a long-term partnership. That's not what they're looking for, okay? They're looking for a quickie in as short as amount of time, weeks, days they can get it. Like, real talk. That's it. Like, uh the pump and dump culture. That's all they're looking for. But I wouldn't, even if you decided to do that, I wouldn't recommend having them come to your house. Like, I've never done that when I was young, and like I said, we didn't even have online. When I was meeting men to date, a lot of times they were in their 30s. I was in my 20s. They were in their 30s. But the only reason why I dated the men in my 30s, because back then, they had their own whatever it was, a house, apartment, condominium, whatever. They had their own shit, they had their own ride. And in New York City, it's a luxury to have a car. It's not a necessity like when you're in Georgia, right? The insurance, it's a luxury, and you actually pay a luxury tax, okay? I mean, there is no parking, it's just crazy. It's a luxury here. So yeah, they were driving, they had their own place. They didn't live with their mother. They were in their 30s, they were doing whatever. Um a lot of them, well, some of them, they were kind of bums, even though they had their own place. But you know, I still enjoyed hanging out with them. Like, we would go to the club together, and they would be like, like my bodyguard or my protection or something, where nobody would like kind of mess with me when I go to the club. It's just, I could just enjoy myself. And when I say bums, I'm saying in the sense that, like, they didn't really have a job. And the only reason why they had their own place was because their parents bought that apartment for them. They bought that condominium for them, and was like, just so they didn't have to pay no rent. The only thing they had to do was just get a job, and the parents even furnished the apartments for these men. And these men were in their 30s. And the parents was like, get a job, go get some business about yourself, get your own food, take care of yourself, basically. So they basically just put these lazy men in these apartments, and was like, take care of yourself. And they were partying, because I was like 20 some years old, and shoot, we was going to the club, what. But still, I've never brought anybody back that I was dating to my apartment. I either went to their apartment, right? And if I did, I would always, well, first, that wasn't like the first thing. We wouldn't just hook up like that. Like, we would meet in a public space, and not only would we meet in a public space, but I would call my best friend, that was my girl. I would call my best friend, and he would have to take me and her out, bump all of that. He would have to take both of us out, right? And we'd meet out in a public space, and we'd have a date, but we'd be chilling together. Yeah. And whether it was like lunch or brunch, I used to love brunches. Or we take a trip out of town to eat. Like, we used to do stuff like that. But I will always bring my girlfriend. Like, if I was first dating this dude, I would never do it by myself. And even when I went to his house for the first time, she had address, she already had phone number, she had address where I was. And we didn't have like GPS back then. We didn't have GPS. We did have cell phones, but it was very rare for somebody to have a cell phone in like the late 80s, early 90s. Like, you really had to be doing pretty well to have a cell phone, right? So Yeah. So that's all I could do on my cell phone. Just, you know, give my friends the address. This is where I'm at. Yo, if you don't hear from me, then you know this mofo done did it. Okay. Yeah, that's how we did it. And I don't know what's going on with these young ladies right now. They hanging out with other women that's jealous of them, and would want to see them harm and stuff like that. And it's the self-esteem is just so low. And I'm saying that to also say that this young lady, Tioni Theus, who was discovered on a damn interstate, shot in her freaking neck, and they believe that she was a victim of human trafficking. um they're offering, I think it's this was in California, and the city council the city council had offered a reward. If it was first 60,000 and now it's 110K. And I'm glad they did that. But I'm saying that to say that these black girls, it's like nobody cares. And what really breaks my heart is that I would love, for my sons to be able to recreate themselves through a black woman. But, you know, and it's sad because, like, I don't really care about these olds. I'm not even gonna say hag, because a hag is a compliment, right? But these old, mm, there's another word, but I don't think I'm allowed to say it. I'll probably get shut down for saying it. But that's the type of woman who's like a mother hen to gay males. There was a term for it that they used to say in the 70s, actually, I think, right? And it's like a woman who she's not attracted to gay males, but she's like the mother hen for them. They all crowd around her because, she's very accepting of them, right? And she's like the mother hen. So there was a term for women like that, right? But yeah, and women like that hate women too. They hate women because, gay men hate women. I don't care what anybody say, they hate women and they harbor that hate for them. Like, they're competing with women for the same penis that women are competing with each other with, you know? Like, make it make sense. And women already are in competition with one another. That's why they can't, like, go on dates and bring their friend with them while this dude is taking both of them out. Like, they're insecure, they're jealous, their self-esteem is low. It's a combination of all of that. And I'm just brokenhearted. I'm just like, look, now that my sons are gone, I've been reconsidering. um I said that already, but I'm just going to reiterate it. I've been reconsidering adopting a little black girl, right? A baby, you know. And it's just sad. This young lady here, she was only 16. um And she said, the last thing she said before she told her father that she was going to a party, the last thing she she told him was, "Don't nobody love me." She told that to her father. "Don't nobody love me." And he was like, "You wrong, baby girl. I love you." But obviously that wasn't enough, because this young lady felt like nobody loved her. She felt like nobody loved her. And I was just brokenhearted by that. And so you have people on YouTube celebrating the other young lady's death. And I think it's mostly because they think, in their warped, sick, twisted mind, they think that this Matthew has something to do with it, right? And Matthew is a white American. So they're rejoicing in that. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter who the black girl is killed by. It could be a black person, which it happens from what I've heard them say every 6 hours. A black girl is killed by a G Floyd indigent every 6 hours, yo. And I'm like, they're okay with that. Like they are really okay with that because while that's happening, you're going to have those counterfeit women talking about how to do your hair, how to do your makeup, how to dress, how to be more feminine. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this young lady watched it. The other young lady, she does her makeup. I've seen videos of her doing makeup, you know. Well, and she looks like she did it pretty good too, you know. And I'm like, what are you doing that for? So you can look good for a casket? Like for real. Like for real. And with this young girl, she was only 16, Tiani, she was only 16. And she said nobody loved her. She went out, she got killed. There was a dude on YouTube who was rejoicing, but the only thing of over her death, saying that she didn't matter. The only person that mattered was the young lady that got killed in California while she was at her job at the furniture store. And the G. Floyd indigent stabs her to death. And he was like, she was the only one that deserved attention. That this young lady here, Tioni Diaz, did not deserve attention because she was on TikTok twerking, and the other young lady didn't deserve attention because she was dating a white man. And I'm saying that to say that these G Floyd indigents don't care. Like they really don't care. Like every time a black girl is killed, they or homicided, they are rejoicing. They're rejoicing. Now, if she's homicided by one of them, you know, they'll rejoice in silence, you know. They're not going to put that all over the media, but trust me, they're seeing it on the media. And I believe they're getting, like, I really think these dudes are getting a hard on and having an orgasm when they hear that a black girl has been murdered. So when she's been murdered by one of them, a G Floyd indigent, they're having a hard on and an orgasm. Their panties are wet, but they're not doing that on social media. What I'm telling you is they're doing it in private. And what the Sisterhood of Satan is doing when this young black girl is killed by a G. Floyd indigent, what the Sisterhood of Satan is doing their makeup and their hair, you know, until the next black girl get killed by a white man, because that's the only time they're going to come out, apparently. Because when she's getting murdered by and homicided by a G. Floyd indigent, you know, they're just worrying about looking good, you know. And that's it be these raggedy old, like, they probably don't even look old, but with all the energy, the negative, like the demonic energy that they surround themselves by, it sucks a lot of life out of you. So you know, because of that, they just look horrible. Like, you shouldn't be 40 years old and looking like you can be my age. Like, for real, for real. I'm 53, and you know, I have no shame in saying that. But you shouldn't be 40 and looking like you should be my age, even though I don't look my age. But I'm just saying, you know, you should not be 40 years old and looking like you can be 53. Come on. You shouldn't be 30 years old looking like you could be 45, right? Boy, I tell you. But they're rejoicing either way. They rejoice silently. So either the G Floyd indigents are having their little hard-ons and orgasms in private, and then the Sisterhood of Satan are doing hair and makeup and all happy, like, you know, in the process of them doing their hair and makeup, a black girl didn't get killed. They're just moving right along. And by the time they finish their hair and makeup video, black girl done got killed, right? But when she gets homicided, what they think by a white dude, or beat up by a white dude, like the lady who got beat up by the NFL dude, they publicly rejoice over that. Like, that, like, that's just really sickening. Like, that's just really, really sickening. You know, that's just really sickening. Like, y'all really need to check your mental health issues. Like, you're publicly rejoicing over that. So now the G Floyd engines will come on, and you can see them having a hard on and an orgasm, and they panties getting all wet while they're even talking about it. Like, for real. Now, I haven't seen the Sisterhood of Satan, but I don't watch them on YouTube. Is very few black people I watch on YouTube. And like I said, I can count them. I can count them on one hand. And then there's only one young man that I listen to who's on YouTube, and his name is Antonio Moore, and he is the co-founder of the American Descendant of Slavery Advocacy Foundation, which is now a 501c organization. So they coined that term ADOS. That's them. And he's the only one. He's the only one that I can listen to on YouTube. He's the only one, you know. And it's very few women that I will listen to. The women I can count on one hand that I listen to on YouTube. And I do watch a lot of YouTube, but it ain't black people. All right. It's not them. I don't watch them. Okay. I'm usually watching like educational things. That's what I'm into. Okay. And it's just so sad. It's just so sad. I'm just saying that these people, when they rejoice publicly, like I said, you can tell the men are having orgasms, like they're getting off, like they're excited, like. And since this is they're so hyper sexual, you can tell. And I don't know about the Sisterhoods of Satan, but the way Divested Zealot was saying is their panties were probably wet too. I could see them, you know, wanting to sit on the G Floyd dick after all of that. Like, for real, for real. Oh boy, I tell you, this is just so sad. This is just so sad. Um I just wanted to bring that up. I'm not even gonna stay long. I just wanted to bring that up and say that this is sad. The black girls, they're over sexualized at a young age. So, you know, it's it's just sad. It's just sad. And there are no fathers around. Like, there are no fathers around. So where are they getting this energy from? Is from the women that's giving birth to them. And unfortunately, they weren't built to circumvent that. So now they are victims. They are victims, and they are consequences of these G Floyd karmic and spiritual debt. For real, for real. And I just feel bad for them, but I already know some are just gonna have to be the sacrifice. Some are just gonna be sacrificed. It just is what it is. But I just hate that I gotta witness it, and I just hate that I gotta witness it. And I think that they should like just ban all YouTube hair and makeup tutorials that black women are doing on YouTube, because and not even hair and makeup tutorials, but like I said, black people just want to be entertained. All of them gossip people that's just sitting up in here thinking that they somebody because they just talking about other people. Like, you're not like really giving any information that somebody couldn't read in the newspaper or in a magazine. But hey, I get it. People don't read anymore. That's why I stopped writing, right? And I vlog, right? Because people don't read anymore. They're into that visual stimulation, right? And I don't even watch them on YouTube, like these gossip mongers that just like, I don't know how you think you somebody with 900,000 subscribers and all you do is just talk about other people. Like, you could see what you could see. Okay, like, I'm not going to mention any names, but for the person who is the queen of gossip, right? You see what her life is like, right? She carried G Floyd's all her life. She supported G Floyd. She took care of G Floyd. Had a son by G Floyd, who I heard back in the day. I remember when she was still on the radio. Like, when she was still on the radio in the 90s, I remember her saying that her son, she felt like her son didn't love her, right? That he was siding with his dad, right? She was saying this back in the 90s on the radio. This is before she even had her TV show, you know. But just look at people like that. Just look at people like that. Like, you think. And I'm saying, and then, he went and got pregnant on her and that had to be the last straw for a divorce, for him to go and get pregnant with another chick while he was still married. Like, so basically, she put up with, being disrespected, dishonored, degraded. She put up with all of that. And this is what she got to show everybody. Like, oh yeah, you so strong, you can put up with a G Floyd, literally screwing you in your butt. Like, for real, for real. Like, you's a strong black woman. You's a strong black woman. Boy, I tell you. Boy, I tell you. But let me tell you something. You see the way her life is like right now. Yeah, she might have a lot of followers. Yeah, she might have a lot of money, but she miserable as fuck. She miserable as fuck. And, she got a lot of problems behind that. Not just, problems in her family, in her life, but internally, like with her body. That should take a toll on you, and it'll wig you out. It'll wig you out. It'll age you quick. Now, just because you getting all that plastic surgery on the outside to try to make yourself look young, it that has nothing to do. They can't do nothing about your insides, okay? They can't do nothing about that, okay? Boy, I tell you. Yeah, I don't know about that magic, right? But yeah, just because you can make the outside look good, the inside is all fucked up, and you're dying on the inside. Like, you're literally dying. Like, all your functions will cease to function, and then they'll just have to bury you with all of that plastic surgery and BBL and everything, child. They're gonna have to probably bury y'all in a damn hazmat, like, they're gonna probably, if they bury y'all, people are gonna have to come to y'all funeral in a hazmat suit. Basically, that's where we're at now. If they do even come to your funeral, Like you got a lot of followers in death in life, but when you die, is anybody really gonna care? You know, is anybody really gonna care? You know, but I don't watch them shows. Like I said, I don't watch anything that has to do with black, and because I'm not black no more. I'm not black no more, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. I was gonna play this, but I'm depressed even thinking about this little girl. You can get this NBCnews.com, 110K rewarded. They just buried her 4 days ago. This poor baby who thought nobody loved her. And these women that's coming out like that, that's why I used to tell my sons when they were little, if you ever mess with these girls, I'm gonna beat your ass, I'm gonna beat their ass, I'm gonna take them home and beat their mama ass too, because I know they ain't had no father there. They ain't got no father there. So it's like these women. It's like these. It's I'm telling you, it's the sisterhood of Satan. It's the sisterhood of Satan, and they old, they miserable, and they jealous of their own daughters. They are, because my mother was jealous of me. They jealous of their own daughters. I'm telling you, they're jealous of their own daughters, and I just feel so bad for them. I really do. I really do. But these people, they're not people, they're counterfeit spirits. The manimals and the femalians, they rejoice. It doesn't matter how a black girl got homicided and who homicided her. It doesn't matter. A rock can fall from the sky and crush a black girl to death. They're gonna rejoice. They're gonna rejoice on that. And I think it's really sickening, but the only thing that can really change that is like is or are the black women who are standing within in their power, you know, and other uh black women who are becoming to stand in their power. And I'm talking about like the young girls, like the one that I was so proud of that called on Divestus Zealot show. She was only 22 years old, and she was like, she don't even she don't even deal with G Floyd indigents. And I was just so happy. I was like, oh my God, she's just a baby. She's only 22, and she has her whole life ahead of her, just on the fact that she says she don't mess with them indigents. So I was happy to hear that, even though it was only one that I've heard, at 22. Even though it was only one, I was happy to hear that. Like, that's just one person saved, because everybody's not going to make it. Unfortunately, everybody's not going to make it because a lot of them don't know how to circumvent, the obstacles in their way, being the people who are supposed to love and take care of them like their mother, because I know they ain't got no fathers in the house. And even if they do got fathers in the house, it's probably still not a good family dynamic, or a healthy family dynamic, because most black households are dysfunctional. They dysfunctional as fuck, whether they're a two-parent household or a single household. It's dysfunctional. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I hope that there's some young ladies who, I'm not talking about no old people. I'm talking about young women in their 20s. I hope that they're listening, you know, and I looked at my analytics, and it says that mostly men are watching my videos. Now, it doesn't break it down by racial category, but it does break it down by gender. It's mostly men watching my videos, and that's okay. But I'm saying that if there is a young lady, a young woman, a young girl, especially a young girl in your life whom you truly love, you know, please share my videos with her, because I just share my videos with her. Share my videos with her. Please do that. Share my videos with her. So I'm just gonna and yeah, that's just really depressing. It's a lot of young girls, and that's all that matters. It's better to build up a child than to repair an adult. These, not just these G Floyd indigents, but these women are broken. See, that's why I don't want my sons with them, because they are broken. They are broken. And it's just sad. So according to the analytics, more men watches my videos. So please share my videos with other women. Share my videos with them. So that's all for today. I gotta get ready. I started class on Saturday. So I'm trying to look and see when I can come and do the continuation videos, Return of the Great Mother. Because it's a whole lot of information, y'all. I started going back to school. Um it's a lot of things that I'm trying to do. Actually, I started my Korean class, and I went to like a social event. So we brought in the Korean New Year with their special Korean dish and everything. And that kimchi was good. That was so good. I really enjoyed that. That was the first time I tasted it. But it was really good. And I know it's very popular. It's a very popular food in Korea. And it was very good. I like cabbage, so it was very good. I enjoyed myself. So it was more like an orientation. So I registered to start my Korean language classes, which I'll be doing like every Saturdays. And then I start my spring semester of college. I'm going to work on my master's in metaphysical sciences. I'm going to work on that. And oh yeah, that class, I really enjoyed it. I just really liked it. I really liked it. So I'm really looking forward to starting this semester with my Korean classes. And please donate to my Cash App and to my PayPal, because I also want to do a semester, and I want to travel and do a semester in Korea for the summer in July. And that's right on time, because I already applied for my passport last November. So I'm still waiting on it. I should get it soon. But I want to spend like a summer semester in July in Korea through the school that I'm going to now to take the Korean classes and the Korean language classes. And it's a 3-week semester. So donate to my help me get there. Help me get to Korea this summer. 2022 July, hopefully everything will be all right with the COVID thing. I know a lot of people closed their borders, but for me, the COVID was a blessing. I know it was a curse for some people, even though, it did kill my dad after he got the jab, the invasion of the body snatchers. But that was the only negative thing. I had to lose my father over it, but he was being hard headed. He didn't listen to me. I told him not to take that jab. But for me, it was a blessing. I was in healthcare. I didn't want to take the jab, so I lost that job. I didn't go back. I went to Trader Joe's just so I could have something to do. I wasn't even like a full-time person there. I was only like working like 2 days a week. I think maybe 3 the most. It was just a part-time job. I wasn't even there every day. And then the Karen fired me. So when the Karen fired me, I mean, I wasn't even there like a full 3 months. I was like, you know what? I wasn't supposed to go back to work. I was supposed to be evolving and doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, I enrolled to go back to school for my master's degree in metaphysics. And actually, the videos that I'm doing on the Great Mother, right? I'm going to use most of that as my master thesis. I was thinking about doing my Doctor of Divinity or Doctor in Metaphysical Sciences. I'm not sure yet. I was thinking about doing that, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm gonna see how that goes. I'm gonna continue to do the Great Mother series, and I'm going to use that as, I know, a part of my master's thesis. But if I continue it, I can continue to use that for my PhD dissertation, because my series of Return of the Great Mother, that's authentic work. It's original. It's original work, except for, whoever or whomever I may have given credit to, like the Mayan calendar. I gave credit to the Mayans because I did use their calendar to help explain, the great year of what the Kemetu, or people as the Egyptians know, they call it the great year. The Mayans call it the long count. So yeah, same difference, right? But yeah, I was thinking about, like, if I continue that, I could probably use that as my dissertation, because those are original works. Those videos, those are original, and they are copyrighted. So I did get them copyrighted. So I'm thinking about it. I don't know. But I don't want to come on YouTube just to be, just to be throwing out content. So like it's a purpose for me. It's a purpose for me. And so I'm just trying to figure out how I can balance, school now, cuz I'm going back, and then I'm taking the language classes, and I still want to do the Great Mother series, because like I said, that would help with my master thesis, right? I could probably base my whole master thesis on that, right? But and then if I do decide to go back for my doctorate in metaphysical sciences, I can use the continuation of the vlogs. So if you haven't checked that out, I put everything in a playlist and in the order that it should be listened to. It's called The Return of the Great Mother. That's the name of the playlist. And please, if you have any questions, please feel free to please don't hesitate to email me or send me a text message. I left all of my information in the description. If you have any questions, or if you need me to elaborate on anything, I will be very happy to do that. So please don't hesitate, you could leave a comment, you could email me, or you can text me. All right. Well, I wouldn't, because YouTube, they kind of like erase the comments. Like, that's not my doing. I put all comments to be shown, and they kind of like erase it. So it's just best, just shoot me an email, that way I know I'll get it, or send me a text message. Anything you need me to elaborate on, I'll be so happy to do that. And it will also help me, so it's not like just it's just helping you for clarity, but it's also helping me. So yeah, so please feel free to do that. Subscribe, share, donate, please donate. Help me get to Korea this summer for summer semester, okay? And I'll talk to you soon. I'll come back soon. It's just one more I want to do, basically talking about my sons and how I brought them up outside of the brotherhood, and how the brotherhood is dangerous. It's the patriarch slash feminist sisterhood of Satan. And for any young women who may have children and who may have sons, young sons, this can be like a template for you on how to, you know, how to help to rear them so they don't become like these, you know, G. Floyd indigents, So again, I've noticed that a lot of men are watching my videos. Please share them with the young lady that you know, whether she has children or not, especially if she has a man child. Please share the videos, okay? And so yeah, I'm gonna just come back with just a short on that. I'm gonna continue to talk about my sons because I have to do that because it's not, I can't really teach about the great mother without you like knowing about me. And I'm honest, I don't really have anything to hide except for maybe my address and where I live and where my sons live, because I don't want no problems. I'm trying to get through this life without having to homicide anybody, and that's real talk. So I really have nothing to hide except for where I live, because I know there's a lot of counterfeit spirits out here, and there are also soulless beings, but that's another video. But I'm going to come back and I'm just going to do a short. I just want to suggest a few things, if you have sons, if you have for the young women who are like, in their 20s and stuck in Blackistani with children. First, I would tell you to get your education, go and get a degree. You can leave Blackistan. When you get a degree, you can leave the country, go anywhere in this world. Like, the world is your oyster, like, real talk. Except for, you got a few hot spots where you might not be able to go because, well, that's another video. I'll get into that in another video. But for the most part, the world is your oyster. And I suggest, while you there's no man in the house, get your degree and leave Blackistan. But when I tell you to leave Blackistan, I'm telling you to leave the country, go somewhere else and live. You can do it. You're a Black woman. You're resourceful, and don't worry. You're the mother of humanity. Wherever you go, that is where home is. You understand? Like, people talk about, yeah, you come from Africa, the motherland in Africa. No, no. I'm a Black woman, and wherever I put my feet, that's where, Africa is, right? That's where the motherland is, for a lack of a better term. Wherever I put my feet, wherever I rest my feet at, that's where the motherland is. So I'm telling you, Black woman, get your degree and leave the country. Get out of Blackistan. And you really want to do it to get out of Blackistan, and you don't want to support a $50 billion a year economy, because it's costing you. Not the U.S. economy is the Black woman, pretty much, but the Black community is hands down Black women. There is no disputing that. There is no disputing that the Black community consists of Black women, period. There's no disputing that. And they're costing you $50 billion. These G. Floyds, unemployed Black men, are costing you $50 billion of income every year. Okay? And you don't want to support that anymore. You don't want to do that. You don't want to contribute to that $50 billion that is costing you. Why would you want to do that? You don't want to do that. Get your degree and leave the country. Don't worry, you could take your children with you. You get a visa, you could go to another country and work, or open up a business. You know what I'm saying? Or do both. You know what I'm saying? You can take your children with you. As long as they're young children, they can get a visa to go with you. You understand what I'm saying? So don't worry about it. And it'll be good for them. They can see the world, learn different languages. I only wish I knew then, when my babies were that age, that I knew now. Because boy, I tell you, they would have been speaking 7 different languages and would have traveled the world already. I just didn't know then what I know now. So I'm telling you, Get your degree and it doesn't matter what you get the degree in. You can get it in anything, art, music, it don't matter. You don't have to get a degree in education. You get a degree in anything that you like to do, okay? You get a degree in anything that you like to do, whatever it is you like to do. You like to draw, you like music, you like to play instruments, you like to write. It doesn't matter. Do whatever. Get a degree in anything. That's your Willy Wonka ticket out of here. That's your golden Willy Wonka ticket. That's why I tell my sons. And after they moved out of the apartment and been there a year, they just went back, to finish to get their bachelor's degree last fall. So yeah, 'cause they did 2 years of college. Remember, I told y'all the last video, they did 2 years of college. Then they went back to work. And after a year of work, they moved out. Was still working. They're still working, and they went back to school. I had to really be on them too about going back to school. I didn't want them to get comfortable because they, found got a job and got an apartment. I didn't want them to be comfortable with that. So I was like, no, I was on them. Even though they moved out, I was on them. So yeah, they went back to school last fall. They went back because I was on their net. Like, nah, y'all gotta go back to school, finish your degree. You have to do that. Like, you have to do that. So yeah, they on it. So yeah, get out of Blackistan. Get out of Blackistan. Leave the country. That's what you do. That's what you do. Because especially if you got sons, you're not going to be able to take them anywhere else in this country because they're not going to let you in. Because they're going to see your sons and they're going to be like, oh, G. Floyd's in the making. And not only that, but they'll automatically assume that you're going to want to bring the rest of them with you. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, boy, I tell you. And if nobody else is going to tell you that, I'm going to tell you that. And I'm speaking to young Black women. I'm not speaking to anybody over 30. Okay? I'm speaking to the young ones, from 13 to 28. That's who I'm talking. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to no old women, you know. that already lived their life, screwed it up, and then want to try and tell somebody how to live theirs, you know, and who's miserable. So I'm not talking to them. Counterfeit spirits, sister of Satan's. I ain't talking to them. Patriarch feminists. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to you, Black women, who feel like the young ones who feel like that young girl said, Tiana, who's told her father the last word she told him was, don't nobody love me. That's who I'm talking to, y'all. I'm talking to y'all. Don't nobody have to love you. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. That's what you work on you. Work on you and love yourself. I know I said I was gonna go, but it's like that young lady, um, Miss Archduchess said that she wasn't quote unquote divested. And, I'm looking at her Facebook and Twitter and all of that, and I'm seeing that she wasn't quote unquote divested. And all I'm just saying is you have to love yourself. You have to work on yourself. You can't go anywhere and bring that Black mentality with you. Like I said, I'm not Black no more. I'm not Black no more. My sons ain't Black. We ain't Black. You can't bring that Black mentality with you, you know, anywhere. Like, you can't do it. That's why we're redlined. That's exactly why I can't go anywhere and escape these G. Floyd indigents. That's why I can't go anywhere in this country and do it. So, and when I also tell you to leave the country, I'm not telling you to go to a country that's ran by, uh, Black people. That's not what I'm saying. Like, you want to avoid those. I have no desire to go to Africa. I have no desire to go to any country that's in the Caribbean, because I'm telling you, especially right now, like in Jamaica, they like savage over there. They savage over there. They savage, boy, I tell you, wherever they at, they just beast, savage, like for real, for real. But I'm talking about like European and Asian countries. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about European and Asian countries. So yeah. And even some a few South American countries. I know a good one is Chile. Like Chile is good, but for the most part, European and you can start a business in Chile. You can start a business in Chile. There's certain European countries you could start a business in, and in Asian countries you could start a business there, or you can work until you can start a business. You can do that. But and if you start a business, you're gonna want to take that what's that money, Goldman Sachs money, out the country and start a business, because you'll still have to pay taxes in America. So it'll just be good for you. It'll behoove you to just take that money and leave the country and start a business. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to stay in Blackistan, because you are the Black community. You don't have to build shit in the Black community, because you're not supposed to do that. The men are supposed to do that, not the women. The men are supposed to do that, not the women. Okay? So you don't want to do that. I wouldn't suggest taking that money and building shit here. Like, you could take that money and build it right outside the country, because you'll still have to pay taxes in America, unless you denounce your American citizenship. And trust me, America needs you so bad, they make it very hard for you to denounce your American citizenship. Okay? It's not easy. It is not easy to do. That's how bad they need you. All right. So you can take that Goldman Sachs money and start a business in another country. That's what you can do. That's what you can do. But and I'm talking to you young ladies who still, you have your whole life ahead of you, and you probably do have sons. You probably do have sons. And to the young women who have daughters, I'm telling you the same thing. Love yourself. Raise or rear your daughters to love themselves. And the only way they're going to love themselves is if they see that you love yourself, right? They see that you love yourself, they'll love their self. They see that you love yourself and you love them. It's nothing that can stop them. And that's whether you have a a a, a girl or a boy. It's nothing that can stop them. When they see that you love yourself, you respect yourself, you have morals, you have ethics, you didn't drop your self-respect on the ground. You don't compromise your integrity. They see all of this stuff. They see this. Whether they're little boys or little girls, they're seeing this, you know. And when they see that you're doing these energies, they'll feel it. They see these actions and they'll feel it as these energies. And the love that you have for yourself, and you love them, and you let them know that you love them, there is nothing that they can't do. I'm telling you, it's nothing that they won't be able to do. And they won't grow up to be twerking on Twitter and YouTube, and just allowing themselves to become dumpsters, for anybody, regardless, a G Floyd or anybody. You understand? And the young men will love themselves. They will have confidence that they can build something, that they can actually build something. And not only that, but they will love themselves to the point where they will naturally protect, or not even want to, but feel the need to protect the women, the divine feminine. You understand? So that's enough of me running my mouth. I'm coming back the next time, because I'm gonna talk about that later. But I'll talk to y'all later. I'm trying to decide when I should do these series, but I'll figure it out because I don't want to like overlap on like I told you, it's like very few YouTubers I watch, and I know that the days that they do their YouTube shows, and I don't want my shows on when they're doing theirs. I mean, I don't want my videos on when they're doing theirs because I actually like watch their videos, and I prefer to catch it live than the replay. So I'll be back, everyone. In the meantime, stay safe, love yourself, okay? Be nice to yourself, you know. Screw what anybody else thinks, it's about you, right? And stay safe, be safe, and everyone have a good night or good morning, depending on what side of the world you're on. Later.